Chapter 260. Just who created all this chaos? It seems Vampire Girl is charged into the mansion in a somewhat confused state. Well, okay, whatever. Actually, it's not okay, but, well, this is a Vampire Girl we're talking about. From the monitoring done by my clones, I have a rough idea what happened anyway. But, once the mood progressed to a dubious stage, I cut the monitoring. But when they came out, there was a new vampire. Peeking in on a love scene is certainly too much, so I had to cut the monitoring. But I seriously wonder what happened. For starters, I'll silence the Vampire Girl, who's squawking noisily. Today, we have a beautiful demonstration of a lesson sign shaped by Vampire Girl. The moment the boy with her sees that, his eyes open wide. How dare you! He comes rushing at me, drawing his sword. He attempts to stab me. Vampire Girl, I guess you haven't disciplined your retainer yet, huh? The moment I decided to deal with him properly, a figure suddenly landed between the boy and me. The figure used something like a judo throwing technique to push the boy down onto the floor, locking his elbow joint. Since he's a vampire, I'm sure he could deliberately break his arm to escape from that, but he's fresh out of the oven, though. I'm sure such an unconventional technique wouldn't occur to him yet. Let me go! I will not. This is for your sake as well, Waldo-sama. You must not oppose this lady. That voice. No way. Philomena? Oh, you noticed. That's correct. The one on top of you is actually your ex-fiancée, Philomena-chan. She's a pitiful girl who made valiant efforts to try to save the poor boys under charm of Vampire Girl, and on top of being crushed, or rather ignored, she was then cast aside by the fiancé she tried to save. To take care of and support such a girl, I'm super nice. In addition, I'm giving her training and work to do as well. I'm super caring. Waldo-sama, please calm down, otherwise you will be killed. Oh, you think she's looking at me with fearful eyes? It's just your imagination. I won't kill him, okay? That kid is technically the child of a big shot noble anyway. Killing him would lead to bothersome stuff. So you don't need to be afraid, okay? Really? Goshijin-sama, could you please not kick me every time? Vampire Girl is revived. She's wiping away blood that slipped away from her mouth with a handkerchief. Don't mind the little things. It's not like she'd die anyway. By the way, Goshijin-sama, who is that girl? She seems to be an acquaintance of Waldo, though. Heavy silence. Vampire Girl, seriously? Could it be you don't remember Philomena-chan? Or rather, you never even had any awareness of her? How wretched. Sorry, our Vampire Girl is a bit like that on the inside. She doesn't mean any harm, because she doesn't mean so to. She ignores her own wickedness, though. While sitting astride on Waldo-kun, Philomena-chan's shoulders start to quiver softly. Waldo-kun drops his gaze to the floor with an ashamed expression. Vampire Girl realizes she's done something bad, but doesn't know the cause, and while pretending to be calm, she's totally giving herself away with flustered eyes. So this is a love triangle, huh? It's nothing to do with me, though, so I guess I'll evacuate. Let's go. Don't you run away! Vampire Girl caught my sleeve. Even if you beg me with such a face, there are some things that even I cannot do anything about. In other words, friendship, effort, conquest, love, or passion-infused communication. And most of all, I don't understand the human heart. Let go. I'm escaping from here. Or rather, don't drag me into this. Isn't this a bomb you planted? It's already exploded beyond hope, so just beg for forgiveness on your belly. Wait, it's not like she herself even realized what she did wrong, though, anyway. Just how did things end up like this, I wonder? Oni-kun, you came at such a good time. Save me! In short, the start of the incident with Sophia-san turning Waldo into a vampire, then. Indeed. Things have calmed down for the moment, so we started holding an inquiry in a relatively small conference room inside the mansion. After this mansion has rooms as big as university lecture rooms apparently are. I've not been to a university lecture, so the only image I have is a large sprawling classroom with university students milling around. In contrast to Oni-kun's wary expression, Vampire Girl replies with brazen expression, or at least she thinks to herself. It's obviously impossible to smooth over her face. It's so close to crying, though. Then, when Waldo-san becomes hostile towards Shiro-san for kicking Sophia-san, Philomena-san stopped him. Yes, indeed. The apparently calm-looking Waldo-san and the still somewhat depressed-looking Philomena-chan reply. So, that's when Sophia-san, who asked Philomena-san, was. Silence. Vampire Girl's face has cramped. Waldo-kun is trying to keep his face immobile, but surely he's not calm on the inside, and Philomena-chan's response was to start crying again. Philomena-san tried all sorts of things to rescue Waldo-san from the effects of Sophia's charm, but in the end those failed. Waldo-san then denounced her and expelled her. Afterwards she was taken into Shiro-san's care and worked as a subordinate. Indeed. Philomena-chan confirms Oni-kun's words while crying against the opponent she fought so hard against. She'd obviously be downhearted to have not even been recognized. In conclusion, it's all Sophia-san's fault. Objection! Objection overruled. Oni-kun decrees his judgment. Vampire Girl demurs. Right, yeah. Oni-kun immediately overrules. No mercy at all. No matter how I look at it, it's Sophia-san's fault. In the first place, are you using trauma on people and brainwashing them as a joke? It's not something you should do to the same people as yourself. It's an atrocity. Scathing criticism as if despising her utterly, I'm somewhat surprised. Oni-kun has a rather gentle personality after all, so I wouldn't have expected him to express his emotions in words so strongly. Well, after thinking about it for a bit, I guess I can understand. When all's said and done, Oni-kun is a ruler of wrath. Deep in his heart dwells an endless rage. Instead, his gentle everyday guise should be considered an exception, and this guise should be considered the norm. In response to the unexpectedly strong criticism, Vampire Girl shudders for a moment, then looks downward. Pamela-chan looks on at the Vampire Girl with a cold expression, and Waldo-kun doesn't interpose himself. That Waldo-kun has decided to stay beside Vampire Girl still despite being cut off from charm, suggesting he's taken a side. Or rather, if he just casually tagged along here without knowing, then he'd have to be a seriously shallow guy. I'm not... Vampire Girl mutters in a subdued voice. Even with my sense of hearing, that's all I could hear. That's how soft a mutter it was. However, it was clear that it was a mutter with real determination behind it. What? I'm not the same. This time she shouts. Okay, that wasn't a shout. I'm a vampire. I'm not a normal person. I'm not the same. Most likely, I'm the only one here who comprehended the weight of the words she has said here and now. Those words are a declaration that Vampire Girl will completely cast aside her humanity, but... And what of it? The mood in this chamber has gotten heavy as lead. Anger is pressing down so hard it might as well have mass. There's good deeds, and then there's evil deeds. No matter what reasons you might have, evil deeds are still evil. What you've done is evil no matter how much you protest. Fumina-chan gulps. Waldo-kun's face stiffens while not being able to preserve his poker face. What you call evil deeds is the way of life for vampires. To deny me that means to deny my very being itself. If it's evil, then fine. That's who I am. All by herself, Vampire Girl directly accepted that anger head-on. They glare at each other. Only time passes by. I'm getting pretty hungry, so mind if I leave? Yep. Cool. Oh, that's this guy again. Alright, sure. I'm fine with that. Yeah, so, I'm not sure how many are left. At this time, whenever this was the last of... whatever. I think there's still like 20 or 30 more though since then. But I know the author slowed down at some point to work on the manga. So eventually we'll catch up, which some people probably never thought we would, or at least considered that it would take a very long time, which it has. Would have taken less time if it didn't take so many breaks, and that, like, what was that, like 3 months where I completely stopped? Goodness gracious. But yeah, after I'm caught up with this, maybe I'll go back to Deprived, or I'll start something else, or I don't know, anything can happen. We'll see what happens.